Home buyers are skipping dinner, guys.
Must have food.
To make mortgage payments. In what world does this make sense? I know summer is coming up and everybody wants beach bodies, but this isn't the way to do it.
Oh, hell no.
You should not be buying overpriced homes so you can skip a meal, guys. This is something that is 100% not suggested to do. I can't believe this. This is crazy, guys. But does this make sense? Individuals buying overpriced homes, and now they're in a situation where they can't make the mortgage payments and they have to cut back on the lifestyle. And that lifestyle is eating. But this is not fiction, guys. This is what's happening in reality. People are buying these overpriced homes, and now they're seeing the repercussions of the overpriced home. There are some things in this that probably contribute to this, but before we jump into it, my name is Orlando. Welcome to the channel, guys. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. It really does help out the channel. Also, check out in the description, I do have a course in there for real estate investing for beginners and a YouTube course, and the coupon code will be in the description, guys. 39% of Americans say they skipped meals to make housing payments.
Don't do weird shit.
Guys, listen. We've had this talk over and over again. And for anybody who's new here, we talk about do not overpay, guys. We don't want you guys overpaying for houses so you don't end up in a situation like this where you have to skip dinner, lunch, or breakfast to make ends meet, to make sure that you make that housing payment that you now realize you overpaid for. With inflation still at levels not seen in years, many Americans are saying they're feeling the financial stress, and some are even saying they've skipped meals to stay afloat. I would say to an individual that if they called me and asked for my advice and said,
Orlando, I'm skipping meals just to make my mortgage. Do you think that I have anything wrong with my financial situation?
I would say, yeah, you shouldn't be skipping meals here. You shouldn't be skipping dinner to pay your mortgage. You probably overspent on your budget. That's probably your mistake right there. Or you're overspending overall.
Don't do that.
And then let's be real. This isn't something that has been unforeseen. I've been talking and letting my subscriber and my viewers know that things like jobs, things like inflation, things like housing prices, all of this stuff is going up, and up. And as the article stated, inflation has been super high and hasn't been this high in many, many years. So it wasn't a big surprise. You kind of knew what was gonna happen. Well, maybe the individuals didn't know that the housing that they were purchasing was overpriced and that rates would continue to go up, and maybe they lost their job. Maybe they spent all of their money and their savings by fixing up the property, or maybe insurance and property tax rose so high that they couldn't afford the house anymore. They could afford it previously, but now things have caught up. They can no longer afford. So now they're taking things like food, which makes no sense to me, but they're taking food and deciding, yeah, skipping meals is going to help me make payments. And,
sensational.
In one aspect, that's sad, but then on the other aspect, it's like, man, skipping dinner, I doubt that that's really going to help you take care of your issues. It just feels like a Band-Aid at the end of the day. But it also lets you know that the financial stress is really on home buyers right now, and it's going to continue to get worse. This is just the beginning, that things are getting worse for the home buyer. Here's the thing. I would think that these individuals still have jobs, but what happens when job loss starts to really snowball? Because we've seen that it's continuing to go in that direction where it's getting, every month, you're starting to see it get bigger and bigger and bigger. Perhaps even more significant, 39% of Americans say they have skipped meals to afford their housing payments, according to this survey. And among millennials, that figure rose to 44%. Among baby boomers, it was 20%. Now, let's take a look, guys, at this chart here. Have you skipped a meal to afford housing payments? 37% Gen Z, millennials 44%, Gen X 41%, baby boomers 20%. Guys, this is crazy. This is my point that I say. I know we on this channel, we have fun with the videos, and that's my purpose. I want you to look at this information, enjoy the information, but also take in the information and understand that I don't want you in this situation and how you can avoid situations like these. There's no reason why you need to put yourself in this predicament where you're missing meals, you're not able to eat dinner or lunch or breakfast because you overpaid, because you put yourself in a situation where you used all of your funds, all of your emergency savings account. You used all of that, everything in your checking. You are bone dry when it comes to liquidity.
I'm all out of money!
And you've used all of that to pay for an overpriced home. Yes, maybe someone gave you bad information and told you,
oh, you don't worry about the overpriced home. You can always refinance.
maybe you did get bad information like that from a realtor or from a mortgage broker or from the lender. Maybe you did get that information, and that's unfortunate. But I'm here to let people know that before you get into a situation like this, do not overpay for these homes. There is a lot of information available that you can see previous history of how much that house was bought for, what other houses are being purchased for.
You have to use your mind.
And there is no reason why you shouldn't be doing research on your local area constantly if you're looking for a house. There's no reason for you draining all of your liquidity to overpay for a home. There's none of that. You shouldn't be doing any of that to purchase a home, guys. That is my personal opinion. I know there's going to be a lot of guys that disagree with that say, yeah, you should drain all of your income and your savings to purchase a home because you will get it back in appreciation. That's what a lot of people will tell you. And let's say it does have appreciation. Let's say these guys have $10,000 in their home. Let's just say they do, of appreciation, that equity that they have in their home, $10,000, but they can't afford the mortgage. They are not able to eat. Now, we do realize, guys, that eating is a necessity.
Yeah, damn right!
Every human on this earth needs to eat. And we're saying 40% of people are saying,
I'd rather buy an overpriced home.
the story goes beyond inflation. It's also about surging prices in housing and how wages haven't kept up with the pace. Well, I'm glad someone finally is understanding that housing is overpriced and wages haven't gone up. I mean, it's not new news. It's definitely old news, but it seems like everybody is now understanding. It's sad that a lot of mainstream media is now understanding it only when 40% of people are deciding that they can't afford to have dinner and pay their mortgage at the same time. That's what that's saying. You either choose dinner or you choose your mortgage payment. It's very sad that now we're at that point to where now mainstream media is saying, you know what? I think we have a housing affordability problem. Really? Indeed. According to one report, housing prices have increased by 160% since 2000. Meanwhile, wages have not kept pace with inflation over the recent years. I mean, you're stating the obvious there. I think everyone that's watching this truly understand that by now. Like I said, it's not anything new. And unfortunately, wages will not stay with inflation and housing prices. It will not. Hence the reason why we will continue to see job losses. Hence the reason why things that will continue to be overpriced. And hence the reason why we will see individuals have to make a choice between eating and housing. It shouldn't be that way, guys. It should not be. You have to make a choice between housing and eating. But here's the thing. There is a choice. Purchasing an overpriced home. That is a choice. You have a choice of waiting this out or going ahead and saying,
You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and pull the trigger. I know it's overpriced and I'm willing to deal with the consequences.
I've seen some of you guys in my comment section say you knew it was overpriced and you still made the choice to overpay. And you're okay with that. So if anyone who's in that situation who made that choice, you knew what the choice you were making, and you end up in this situation, you can't say it's a surprise. You cannot say to yourself, wow, I didn't know this was gonna happen. Or you can be sad that it did happen to you, but you can't say that you were caught off guard because you knew you were buying an overpriced home. And I'm trying to prevent individuals from buying that overpriced home and putting you in a situation where you regret buying that home. The bottom line isn't a pretty picture. Americans have their backs up against the wall. The Capital One survey found that financing was one of the biggest stressors in people's life above work, family, and politics. Well, of course, if you can't eat, a necessity, then obviously that's going to be a big issue. I mean, once again, I said all humans have to eat. So instead of either sitting out and waiting this market out, or instead of renting and not having that huge mortgage, individuals are deciding, I'm gonna skip dinner.
That don't make no sense.
I could get away with dinner, but so long I have this overpriced home, yeah, that's a great trade-off. It says Daniel Crosby, an officer at Orion, a company that provides services for financial advisors, says financial uncertainty stems from more than just the challenge of making ends meet. Now, that is true. There are a lot of things, guys, that go along with making ends meet, and this is just one of them. And we're not gonna talk about all the things that you need to make ends meet. There's a ton of things, but we're talking about one thing in particular. And we're talking about purchasing a new home. Purchasing a new home comes with a lot of responsibilities, guys. And of those responsibilities, all of them are high right now. Purchasing homes that are overpriced, insurance, home insurance on properties, property taxes, things to fix up your home, flooring, appliances, all of these things are double, triple, in some situations, it's gonna cost you more. The question is, with wages not going up, can you afford these things? Or is it best for you to wait out the market, to spend this time to sit on the sidelines with a purpose, as I like to say? Or is it better for you to go ahead and just buy the home right now? I'm not judging anyone who wants to buy a home. Do what's best for you and your family. I'm just saying, make sure that you do the research. Make sure that you understand your job. Is your job stable? Is it not going to be replaced by AI?
Things that make you go,
Are you not going to be in a situation where you get laid off? Or do you want to wait to see what all of this stuff happens and how it all lays out and be cautious? Maybe houses in your market go down. Maybe you might lose your job and you say, wow, I'm glad I didn't do that. Maybe the Fed does get inflation down and things don't cost so much. Maybe property taxes stall because they're not going down. I can tell you that. There's one thing that I do know. If wherever property taxes are, if you think that property taxes are going to go down, you are mistaken. They will only go up. The best we can hope for is that they stall out and they're not doubling or tripling like they have been. That's what we want to avoid. And I just want the whole package of purchasing a home be ideal for you and not for you to have to skip dinner, lunch, or any other meal. So hopefully, guys, you got value out of this content, guys. But I need you to understand one thing. You will not get all of your information from this one video. I need you to watch this video here. It will help you get into your first rental property, learn financial news, and understand this crazy housing market. And I promise you the information you will get from it will be gold, guys. I will see you in the next one. Thanks.